Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to Who'd Win and Why. It's the mid-season finale of the Halloween season. And this time we got Spider-Man 2099 going up against Batman Beyond. That's right, we got the two future heroes going up against each other. Now, before I move on, I just want to say a quick little thank you to everyone who watches the show. This is usually something I'd say closer to the end of the season, but I just felt it needs to be said. Guys, my channel's been increasing like crazy recently. Well, crazy for me. So I really hope you guys are enjoying the show, and I'm so glad that you guys are giving me the likes and you're commenting down everything, like you're part of the community, and you're subscribing if you're not subscribed already. I'm really thankful for everything you guys do. I do read the comments, I do listen to what you guys have to say, I do reply to a lot of them. So I really hope you guys enjoy the show, and I hope you guys are enjoying everything I do, and I'm so glad you guys just keep coming back and watching them, because without you guys I wouldn't be where I am right now. So thank you all for all of that. But now let's move on to the mid-season finale, Spider-Man 2099 versus Batman Beyond. So, who'd win and why? Let's find out. So first I'm going to talk about Spider-Man 2099. Now, this guy's real name is Miguel O'Hara. He is not Peter Parker, although that's kind of obvious considering that this is 2099 we're talking about. He does have a lot of differences between himself and Peter Parker. He does have some similarities too, which I'll go over first, but he also does have a lot of differences that some of you guys might not know about. So when it comes to the similarities, basically he has the same strength, speed, endurance, durability, reflexes, basically everything when it comes physical-wise, athletically, he's basically athletically the same, and he also has pretty much the same wall crawling, I believe. So those are pretty much all of the same. Basically those are the similarities that he has. He has the strength, the speed, 10 tons, 200 miles per hour, taking a grenade to the face, same with the endurance and reflexes. Those are basically all the same, though pretty much everything else that he has about him, everything else about him is pretty much different. First, let's talk about the webbing that he has. So, unlike the actual Peter Parker, unlike the actual Spider-Man from what we know, this guy doesn't have web shooters. He actually has the webs coming out from his skin. They're organic webbing. Some of you may think, well, you know what, Spider-Man has that too. Well, actually, I think he did for a while in the comics, and he also had that in the movies. But generally, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, just has non-organic webbing, like from the web shooters. But Miguel O'Hara actually has organic webbing, which is, it doesn't really limit him in any way. It's just something different. It's still webbing. It's still obviously he can still pull with the same force considering that he has the same strength. I just thought it'd be cool if you guys knew. Another thing is that when it comes to his senses, Spider-Man 2099's senses are actually much better than Peter Parker's senses. This guy, he has a very high level of sight and smell and taste, and pretty much all the senses, they're pretty much heightened to a high degree. Unlike Spider-Man, who has the spider sense. If you guys didn't put that together by now, Miguel O'Hara does not have spider sense. It's actually pretty weird. I didn't know this until pretty recently, that he actually doesn't have spider sense. Instead, his senses are just heightened a bit. So that's pretty cool. So, that means, but that does mean a few things. It means that he can't sense stealth whenever it's coming. He can do it with, the hearing and stuff like that, but that doesn't really do that much, if we're talking about, a very stealthy person. He also doesn't have his way of the spider thing. When Spider-Man has the way of the spider, the original Spider-Man, which is basically using his spider sense in almost his own fighting style. So basically, yeah, Miguel O'Hara doesn't have that, and that does limit him in a few ways. Generally, what he does is that he is a brawler. He does like to rush into things, and he also doesn't have much combat training. Generally, he just relies on his own strength. He does not prepare. He's not overly smart. He's not nearly as smart as Peter Parker, but he is still... he's still pretty smart, but again, he's not as good a strategist as Peter Parker is. Also not as smart when it comes to a science perspective, like book smarts. If you guys wanted to know his origin, I believe it's something along the lines of he was working at Alchemax, and when he realized what Alchemax, it's a company, and when he realized that Alchemax was evil, and the people at Alchemax realized that they were evil, they tried to poison him. However, he survived the process, and his DNA was spliced with a spider, and he got different abilities. So that's how he got the strength and the speed and the organic webbing. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So that's pretty much all you really need to know about Spider-Man 2099. When it comes to weaknesses, again, he doesn't really have that many clear physical weaknesses, except his fighting patterns might be a bit predictable considering that he does not have spider sense. At least they're more predictable than the original Spider-Man. But that's really all I have to say about Miguel O'Hara. That actually went by quicker than I thought. But now let's move on to Batman Beyond, and man, is this going to take a while. And you guys will figure out soon enough. So Batman Beyond is actually Terry McGinnis. He's basically the Batman from the next generation, so he's not as far down the line as Spider-Man 2099, but it's still obviously in the future. We do end up figuring out, spoiler alert, by the end of the series, by the end of the series, that Terry McGinnis is actually the son of Bruce Wayne. So oh my god, shocker or whatever. Just thought it would be cool if you knew again. So yeah, he became Batman Beyond in a very similar way that that Batman did. I think it was through like the death of was it like through the death of his parents that he thought were his parents or something like that? It might be that, because I knew that he was Batman Beyond while Bruce Wayne was still alive, obviously. But anyway, that's not the point. So basically, what is Batman Beyond? So his suit, he has a very different suit, as all of you guys know. This suit allows him to fly at speeds, I believe, up to Mach 3, which is 3 times the speed of sound. The speed of sound by itself, by the way, is 761 miles per hour. So yeah, that's pretty dang fast. 3 times that? Pretty dang fast. Also, the suit, it gives him the stats, like, I think it, like, amplifies his, physical stats by 10 or something like that. So if we're talking strength, if we're saying, like, a regular human can lift its own body weight, and Terry McGinnis weighs 170 pounds, so if we're multiplying that by 10, that means he can lift approximately 1,700 pounds. That's 300 pounds away from a ton, which is pretty impressive. That means he's actually 700 pounds stronger than Batman was, the original Batman, approximately. And when we're talking about speed, if we're saying that that maybe like an average person can run about 12 miles an hour, and we're multiplying that by 10, that's 120 miles per hour, which is obviously much, much faster than the speed than like the physical speed that Batman, the original Batman, could run at. So that's pretty impressive, and it also gives him 10 times the agility and stamina, or endurance. So that's pretty cool. When it comes to actual durability, the suit can withstand like great temperatures. I believe the strongest is like around 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know the coldest, but it might be negative 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. I really don't know. But the suit is also durable enough to withstand gunfire, explosions, and he can survive like being like falling off of a skyscraper, and it didn't even leave a scratch or anything on the suit. I believe the suit is also has like some sort of electrical wiring in it, which basically allows it to has electricity surrounding it, which is pretty cool when he needs to like get out of like a jam, like when he's like stuck to something, we can like use the electrical thing, or whenever like maybe like a bad guy is like tackling him or whatever, it can shock them. It's just pretty useful, especially since it surrounds his entire body. What else does the Batsuit have? The Batsuit also has a utility belt that I believe has pretty much an advanced version of nearly everything the original Batman had. So like advanced batarangs, advanced smoke pellets, like flashbang grenades, explosive gel it might even have, maybe not, I don't really know. But it has basically nearly everything the original Batman had, but an advanced version since it's the future, I'm assuming. And even some more stuff. I believe it also has wrist-mounted lasers, and these are actual lasers, like as in the stuff that can travel over 670 million miles per hour, because they go at the same speed as light. So that's extremely impressive and extremely useful. They can cut through metal, or they can burn through metal. What else does the suit have? The suit has like a ton of stuff with it. Like I said, it can fly, it can survive temperatures up to however much, 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But it does also have a lot of stuff going for it. He can pull out like batarangs, like electrical batarangs, or like just regular batarangs, everything like that. So yeah, this guy, basically his suit is extremely plentiful. It has a lot of technology with it. And that can be a problem sometimes, just because Bruce Wayne, if you watch the show, you'll know that Bruce Wayne has said that Terry relies too much on the suit, which can put him at a disadvantage sometimes. He doesn't have like the skill of fighting that that Bruce Wayne has. And because Terry, I believe, is at the current age, he might only be like 30 or something, he's not as old as Bruce Wayne was when he was a Batman, which is about 41. So yeah, that's something to consider. He's not as experienced, though his technology does give him the ability to take on brawlers. Because as you may have noticed, most of the regular Batman's enemies are not very strong. You know, they're mostly smart. Then Batman has to like get through puzzles or something, especially when it comes to characters like the Riddler. But when it comes to like Batman Beyond, he's actually like going fist to fist against many different people. And like Spider-Man 2099, he likes to rush into things. And again, it might not be like the best strategy for someone like maybe like the regular Batman to do, but for someone like Terry McGinnis, it's actually pretty perfect. It's something that he can use to his advantage because he has the strength that can lift up to 100, I believe, again, this is just my own math, 1,700 pounds. That's very impressive, nearly a ton. So he doesn't have the smarts that Bruce Wayne does. He doesn't have the detective skills. I believe in his suit he does have something that allows him to like scan DNA and substances to figure out like how to fight someone, something along the lines of that. So that he does have some sort of detective stuff. He also can turn invisible when it comes to stealth, but generally when it comes to stealth and detective work and fighting skill, he's not to the level of Bruce Wayne. But he does make up for it with the technology that he has. You know, like you don't have to be stealthy when you have like something that can turn you invisible, you know, and stuff like that. But like I said, he doesn't have that much fighting skill with him, which can put him at a disadvantage and can make him somewhat predictable, but he does have enough gadgets to keep going along with the fight. So I think that's mostly all I have to say about Batman Beyond. So now it's time to figure out who would win between these two. So this actually is a pretty heated argument. You know, like some people say, oh, you know what, I think Spider-Man 29 would win, Spider-Man 2099. I think that he would win because, you know, it's just like Spider-Man versus Batman. You know, he's still just so much stronger. He's so, like, so much of everything or whatever, you know, he'd just be Batman Beyond. And then there are other people on the other side that are saying, well, you know, Terry is like, or Batman Beyond, he has so many gadgets and stuff like that, like Spider-Man can't keep up with them. So who would really win in a fight between these two? Now again, this is all my opinion, and no matter what I say, someone's gonna be mad. Or maybe not, depending on how many people watch the show. You know, no one watches this. Oh my god. No, I'm just kidding. Because obviously, if I said, thank you guys, obviously enough people watch it. But now I'm getting really off topic. Again, this is all my opinion, and I really hope you guys will hear me out with my opinion. I believe that Batman Beyond would win this fight, and this may shock some of you, but let me please just explain before you guys say anything bad or anything. Could you please just let me explain, please? Thank you. Okay, so first, let's talk about like their physical, how they stack physically. Yes, Spider-Man 2099 is much, much, much stronger than Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond can lift around 1,700 pounds. Well, this Spider-Man, like the regular Spider-Man, can lift 10 tons, which is 20,000 pounds. And that's pretty crazy. But now but pretty much like the strength, he does have a good strength advantage, but you have to think about how durable this suit is. His suit is durable enough to withstand explosions, gunfire, falls from skyscrapers, and he fights people that are stronger than him many, many times. He has a lot of experience doing that stuff. So while maybe Spider-Man could punch through that suit, it's not very, like, I can't say that for sure. I can't say either one for sure. It just, to me, I think it's like, okay, how am I saying this? Basically, it's just, yes, he does have a good strength advantage over him, but when you factor in everything else and how durable the suit is, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. When it comes to speed, yes, Spider-Man is faster than Batman, but not by that much. Like I said, through my own math, maybe like 12 to 15 miles per hour is a regular human's speed. If we're doing that, maybe it's like times 10, 120 to 150 miles per hour. This Spider-Man can run up to 200 miles per hour. And believe me, that's still a big gap, don't get me wrong, but it's not as much as you might want to think. And when you talk about how fast this guy can fly, Mach 3, that is crazy. That's crazy fast. That's something that Spider-Man, if he is flying, if it's like a web slinging versus flying thing, Mach 3, that's insane. That's something that Spider-Man's not going to be able to keep up with, even with his own speed and reflexes. He's not going to be able to keep up with something that's 3 times the speed of sound, 3 times 761 miles per hour or 340 meters per second. That's crazy. When it comes to durability, definitely Batman Beyond. The suit is just, it survives so much. It survives explosions, heat, falls, gunfire. It survives pretty much everything, and heavy assaults from people who are much stronger than him. So when you're, and like, even though like Spider-Man 2099 does have the same durability that the regular Spider-Man has, it can't stand up to this heavily armored suit. I'm sorry, it just can't. So when it comes to most of the physical stuff, you know, when it comes to like reflexes and agility and stuff like that, yes, Spider-Man 2099 would still have an edge over Batman, except when it comes to durability. But Batman Beyond, his technology, oh my god. His technology, first of all, let's just get the big thing out of the way. He has lasers, which go at the same speed as light. Yeah, that's something that Spider-Man, like, if he can't dodge 3 times the speed of sound, how is he going to dodge something that can go 670,616,629 miles per hour, roughly? So how is he going to be able to survive something that goes at the same speed as that? You know, the wrist-mounted lasers. He can't. The short answer is he can't. And what else does he have? He also has the electrical stuff. If Spider-Man does get like a good beating on him, he can shock him away. I'm not sure how this Spider-Man would stack up against electricity, probably pretty well, but it's still something that he has to keep his distance. He also has batarangs, which is something that even though Spider-Man does have the reflexes to probably counter them and the webs to maybe even throw them back, we're talking about a guy that does not have spider sense, meaning that he does not have the way of the spider, which is the thing that's the regular Spider-Man uses to go toe-to-toe with the most advanced masters of combat. So without the spider sense, that puts him at a huge disadvantage. Both of these guys can be predictable when it comes to fighting, but when it actually comes to like the technology and what else they have, Batman Beyond is completely unpredictable. Like Spider-Man's spider sense, without the spider sense, he can't get past the invisibility. He can't. It's just something he can't do. Because, like I said, this, like the regular, I'm not sure if I even said this, I might have said this in an earlier take, but Spider-Man, the Peter Parker is said to be, he's the 616 Spider-Man, and he's said to be the most powerful version of Spider-Man. And technically, even though this is the future Spider-Man, this is like a possible future, basically meaning that it might not be 616. So this Spider-Man is clearly, it's pretty much been clearly said by Marvel that this Spider-Man is not as powerful as the regular Spider-Man. And this Batman clearly has the technology that the regular Batman doesn't have. He has all the technology and much more. And even though he's not as smart, like, remember, regular Batman might need prep time in order to get past some things. This guy really doesn't. He doesn't need prep time because he has, like, 10 times the strength of a regular person. He can fight, and he has a lot of experience fighting. Now, let's just go back to regular Spider-Man versus regular Batman for a minute. If you've seen the death battle, you know that regular Spider-Man wins. And I personally agree with that, just because we're talking about, like, without prep time, without Batman's preparation, you have to basically, you're fighting someone who's much stronger, basically is physically much better than you, someone that has the spider sense that can basically go toe-to-toe with the advanced masters of combat, which at the very least would allow him to stand up to Batman, and he has, like, the web shooters that can pretty much counter nearly all of Batman's stuff, you know, all of his gadgets that he has. But when you apply this stuff to, like, this fight, it's just, it doesn't really work. We have some guy that does not have spider sense. He has, like, webbing and stuff, which would allow him to get past some of Batman's, Batman Beyond's abilities and, weapons. But when you have, like, the lasers, I don't think Spider-Webs is really going to stop that, nor is he going to be even able to react quick enough to do that. And the last one, you know, prep time. This Batman doesn't use prep time. This is like you might say, what's Batman's biggest flaw? Well, it's prep time. But this is a Batman that's much more filled with tech. This is a Batman that does not need prep time. He's a Batman that basically is so much quicker than the regular Batman. He, in many ways, can be considered the better Batman. Really, the only thing that the regular Batman has over him is maybe smarts and fighting skill. Other than that, this Batman is stronger, faster, much more durable, probably, and he has more weapons. And these weapons are going to be too much for the regular Spider-Man to handle, even with his physical advantages, simply because he does not have the OP spider sense, which is what Spider-Man uses to get out of a lot of situations, and this guy is not, Batman Beyond is not heavily reliant on prep time. So, in my opinion, the winner is Batman Beyond. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, you don't have to, like, okay, you might not agree with me, and you don't have to. That's perfectly fine. If you don't agree, please tell me in the comments why. Like, tell me, did I get anything wrong with the information? Do you guys think, like, the other way? Do you think Spider-Man 2099 would win? If you do think that, please tell me why, because I honestly, he might win. I really don't know. This is just everything that I'm saying, and I might have gotten some things wrong. If you did enjoy this episode, please give it a like. I always appreciate the like. Comment down below everything you want to comment down about the information, about if you like the show, and everything like that. If you want to comment down maybe future suggestions for the Christmas season, please comment down below. I'm still looking for stuff. And if you would subscribe to my channel, that would honestly make my day. That would be so great. I make these episodes pretty regularly, and even if you don't agree with this one, you might agree with others. Who knows? Maybe you can give it a try. If you don't like what I do, then you can unsubscribe later. But if you would subscribe, that would honestly be so great. That would really help me out. I would really appreciate it. So guys, that was it. Spider-Man 29 versus Batman Beyond. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And next time on Who'd Win and Why, we got Green Goblin going up against the Demo Goblin. See you guys later.